Hey, Eagle fans! Your Statesboro Walmart is your one-stop shop for all your Georgia Southern football and game day needs. Pick up your GSU sports gear here. We have t-shirts, hats, tote bags, koozies, stadium bleacher seats, car spirit flags, wall pennants, beads, and more right here at the best prices in town. Also, don't forget we can handle all of your tailgating needs with our great food trays, baked goods, and fresh, high-quality meat, seafood, and chicken.
Walmart. Save money. Live better. Walmart.
On this week's show, another impressive outing on both sides of the ball for the Georgia Southern Eagles as they picked up a big victory over the Citadel. This week they begin Sun Belt play on the road at Idaho. We'll preview that and have more as we welcome you inside the Eagles' Nest. And welcome inside the Eagles' Nest. I'm your host, Josh Aubrey, being joined by Mike Anthony, sports editor and Georgia Southern beat writer for the Statesboro Herald. And Mike, they did it again. The old Georgia Southern Eagles playing solid on both sides of the ball, coming through with a big victory. You kind of felt like that would be about what the score would be. I thought it would be a little bit closer. I guess I just thought that the Citadel could maybe shorten the game a little bit and their offense might give Georgia Southern a little bit of a problem. I by no means thought they'd win the game, but I just thought it would be right around 21 points. But hey, I'm glad to be wrong. Georgia Southern's looking really good right now.
Looking really good and looking really good against that option that gave them trouble in the past against the Citadel last year against Georgia Tech and Navy. Well, they were able to shore up some stuff. The Georgia Southern defensive front, especially the front seven, so important to stopping the triple option. They're able to hang people up at the line of scrimmage, stay on their feet, take up blocks, not really give the Citadel any room to run. The only place they had to go was outside, and these Eagles, you can see what 2 years, really 3 years of FBS recruiting has done for that talent gap. The Citadel in years past able to keep it close, not so much. The Eagles just too fast for them, and we talk so much about the Georgia Southern offense and their explosiveness, but so far this season, I really think that it's been the Eagle defense that's really been the bright spot.
It has. They really strung out the option, did a great job of containing and limiting the fullback to maybe just one big play in the game. It was also nice to see Kevin Ellison get back there on the field, get a couple of touchdowns, make a couple nice runs, and he threw the ball well, which we weren't really maybe expecting, but the Citadel looked like their game plan was to try to force Georgia Southern to pass, and they did it pretty well.
And Kevin Ellison, always good to see him back out there, and he really didn't do too much fancy. 10 completions, 80 yards, no huge plays through the air, but a couple of big third down conversions to keep that offense on the field. Same thing in the running game, only a couple dozen yards on the ground for Ellison, but you mentioned the 2 touchdowns, and more importantly, making the right decisions, making the right reads, getting the ball into the right guy's hands, which so often is Matt Breida, who once again does what Matt Breida does, runs for over 150 yards, including an 87-yarder.
All right, well, you mentioned earlier about how they kind of learned their lesson from playing Navy, from playing Georgia Tech, and it seems to me so far, if we've learned anything about Willie Fritz, it is that fool me once, but you're not going to fool me a second time. So it seems like he learned his lesson as well about going west. He said that he felt like the team was not prepared, got out there a little too late last year on their first road trip, and it kind of showed, although they won the game. The New Mexico State game was a little closer, I think, than he would have liked. This time around, they're going up on Thursday, so they have an extra day to prepare for Idaho. Another team that they shouldn't have too many problems with, but again, trying to learn from the past, go up there an extra day to get ready.
And they'll have to adjust to the time difference. It's a 3-hour change. They're playing at what'll be 6 o'clock out in Idaho. Used to, it'll feel like 9 o'clock here. I guess with college students, maybe not quite as bad for you and me. We're going to be trying to get to bed as soon as the game's done. But the Eagles, they've definitely got the talent advantage over Idaho, a team that's really struggling. It took all the Vandals had in the tank to beat Wofford last week, so maybe they get a little bit of a head start on defending the option. But as we saw last year, Georgia Southern able to run around and through the Vandals. If that hasn't changed, if the Vandals haven't shored anything up on that defensive front, I would think that the Eagles are going to be able to run almost at will once again.
All right, well, we had a chance to talk with Coach Fritz and some of the players about traveling to Moscow to take on Idaho.
It's just constant preparation. We can't go into the game thinking or underestimating our opponent. We gotta go in like we gotta treat it like every game in the past. We gotta be focused, and we gotta go out there with energy and effort, and go out there and know that we can execute our assignments. I think a lot of times you underestimate opponents and they come out and they shock you. They're gonna be at home. It's gonna be a really big game for them to try to knock us off. I think they felt like they was close last year, but we gotta go ahead and put them down early.
We just go out there and play ball. You know, there's not too many letdowns in this program, so we're just gonna go out there and just execute our assignments, just do what our coaches tell us.
You guys played them last year. What do you expect out of them this time?
It's the same fight. You know, we got a target on our back going into conference. And starting off with Idaho, you know, they're going to come out there and they're going to play really hard, so we just got to play hard and just execute.
Yeah, last year when we went to New Mexico State, we didn't play real well. But we'll be ready to go this time. We'll go a day earlier and think that's going to help us, and we'll be prepared and be ready to go.
What do you know about them? What do you expect?
I got a great offense. Quarterback's a really, really good player. Got a couple of receivers who are very athletic, a big back. Offensive line's big. They're capable of putting up a lot of points, so we'll definitely have to be prepared and play our best game.
Well, you know, the first time that any of us have been up there, I've got a couple of coaches on my staff who have been there with other schools that they were coaching at. But for the players and for most of our coaches, this will be the first time to go up there. It'll be the first time I've ever been in Idaho before. And, you know, playing indoor and like you said, a conference ball game. So we need to get the same improvement between week 3 and week 4 that we just had between week 2 and week 3. They're a little more conventional offense, you know, a lot different than the Citadel. That's one of the reasons why whether you win or lose, you get done with the last game and move on to the next one. They'll utilize a tight end quite a bit, most of the time one back. They're probably 60-40 pass to run. Defensively, got some really good athletes. They're big up front. You know, they played us last year tough for most of the game. Great kicker and punter. The same guy does the same, both of them for them. So good ball club. Just got done beating Wofford. Had a close game with Ohio. They played tough schedule. Played USC a little earlier in the season as well. So we're gonna have to be in our A game without question.
And last year you had an opportunity to go to North Dakota State. That was the
It's 2015 model sell-off at Franklin Toyota. Now is your best time to buy because every 2015 model must be sold.
At Franklin Toyota, save up to $5,000 off the new Prius or get 0 APR for 72 months.
Find it today at Franklin Toyota in Statesboro.
Well, Mike, this is the time of the show. We usually try to get our predictions out there. The line for this game right now?
16 last I saw it.
16. I think that is not high enough. I really like the Eagles to go out there, and this time I think they're going to get it done. I see it being between 24 or 28 point victory for Georgia Southern. I think they're really focused right now.
Well, I don't know that the players paid too much attention to the lines, except for one that I know was giving you a hard time for picking the Citadel last week. But Georgia Southern last year not quite able to cover against Idaho. A flurry of touchdown passes in the second half. Wasn't able to. The Eagles weren't able to score enough late to make up for that line. I don't think 16 is near high enough this time. It is a tough road game. It is a long way away from home, but the conditions shouldn't be a problem. They're in a little airplane hangar called the Kibbe Dome. It's a fast track. I think the Eagles take advantage of that. They run up and down. In Idaho, they can throw the ball around. I think they'll get some points. I just don't think it'll be enough to make 16 even near the margin of this game. So take the Eagles, and 67's the over-under. Take the over, too. Eagles are putting 55 on the board.
Hey, they've had success in Idaho before, but it was Pocatello, which I guess is a couple hundred miles away from there. Hopefully, some people go up there and watch the game. I don't know what kind of crowds Idaho gets. I would not imagine they're really big up there.
Not exactly FBS attendance leaders.
All right. Well, there's some other sports going on right now, Mike. Fill us in real quick on how soccer teams and volleyball are looking right now.
The soccer team's having a decent weekend. The men go up to Nashville for a tournament. 2 games. They tie one. They win one. So the men get creeping back up towards the 500 mark. The ladies, a tough time going to Florida. 2 games against North Florida and South Florida. They drop both of them. The guys stay on the road. We mentioned last week they won't be back in Statesboro for a game until the middle of October. The girls, on the other hand, they come back home, and with it, they'll bring the Sun Belt schedule with them. They play UL Monroe, UL Lafayette. Those will get started on Friday. Actually, it's Lafayette first. Friday night, and then on Sunday they'll play Monroe, getting that Sun Belt schedule started.
All right, and as for golf, the women's golf team got their first ever match underway, and hey, they didn't finish last, third to last, but they had some good moments in there. And as for the guys, they get to go down to Destin, which is where the Sun Belt Championships will be once again, so they'll get to see that course. Hopefully they'll do well, coming off that victory at Kiowa recently. Well, for now, that'll wrap things up. For Mike Anthony, I'm Josh Aubrey. Thanks for joining us. Hope to see you again next week.